In an earlier lesson, I showed you how to set up Google Analytics. That's a valuable tool for analyzing traffic to your website and measuring the performance of your web content. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you another service from Google called Webmaster Tools. Analytics and Webmaster Tools are complementary services. To get the most out of either, you want to use both of them together. Fortunately, they're both free. Now, like Analytics, this service is going to provide website owners with a trove of valuable information and early warning when there might be problems with your website that could prevent your site from being listed in Google. In this video, I'll explain the benefits of Webmaster Tools, walk you through some of the key features, and finally, I'll show you how to get Webmaster Tools working with your website. This is the Google Webmaster Tools homepage. This is where you go to set up your account and connect your website to Webmaster Tools. I'm going to show you how to do that step by step towards the end of this video. So why should you even bother to set up Webmaster Tools? Well, there's a bunch of information that you can't get anywhere else. You'll get some keyword information that you can no longer get from Google Analytics. This shows you how people arrive at your website. That's an important thing for website owners to know about. You'll find opportunities for improving your search engine performance. You have the ability to set up email notifications so that you get an alert if Google detects that your website has been hacked. That's useful. You'll also get an alert if Google identifies technical problems with your website that might prevent your site from being listed in Google. That's something you want to know about right away. And you'll also get alerts if there's been a Google penalty issued to your website. And you'll be able to clean up your website and then use Google Webmaster Tools to request a review, so you'll get back into the Google index. Let's take a look at some of the reports that you'll have access to. The big question that many website owners have is, how do people find my website? And one of the traditional ways of getting insight into how people are coming to your website is the keyword report in Google Analytics. Unfortunately, these days the keyword report in Google Analytics is looking more and more like this one, where the number one keyword is not set. Google has made some changes recently. It no longer sends the keyword information along with the user after they click on a link from Google. And so increasingly, when you look at your keyword report, you're seeing that the number one keyword is not set. This is not useful data. However, once you have a Google Webmaster Tools account, you have access to this report. This search queries report shows all of the keywords that led people to your website and includes a lot more data than you were getting in Google Analytics. For example, this column here on impressions shows you how many times your content showed up in search results for the given phrase. So you see the total number of times that your website was showing up in search results for each keyword. In addition to that, you get an estimate of the number of times that people actually clicked on your link from the search engine. And with those two pieces of information, Google is able to calculate a click-through ratio. That's a valuable number to have. It gives you insight into how well your pages are doing on the search engine. Not only do you want to rank highly, but you want people to actually click on your links and get to your website. From this report, you would be able to find pages that are ranking well, but have low click-through ratios. And from that information, you're able to fix the problem by writing a better title for your page or including a better meta description on your page, which in turn can lead to a higher click-through ratio, which in turn could lead to better search engine performance without having to have a higher ranking. It's a very easy thing to do once you have access to this data, and with Google Webmaster Tools, you get access to this report. Now, we know that malware is an increasing problem on the web. Sites are getting hacked every day, and Google Webmaster Tools helps you by identifying the problem quickly and notifying you when your site has been hacked. Because Google is always indexing your website practically every day, Google is able to notice, like almost right away, if something has gone wrong with your website and you've been hacked. There's this Security Issues tab in the Webmaster Tools. Now, I tried to find an example of a site with a security warning, and fortunately, all of my sites are secure. So I see this warning on every security tab for every site I have access to in Webmaster Tools. They're all secure. But if one of them had been hacked, I would have a notice in here letting me know that my site had been compromised and warning me that I needed to clean it up. Now, in addition to malware, technical problems can prevent your site from being listed in Google. If Google can't index the pages on your website, Google can't list you in its search engine. Google gives you warnings when it runs into problems while it's crawling your website. So here's an example of one of those warnings where Google noticed an increasing number of 404 errors. 404 means file not found. So Google has a history of scanning this website and noticed that a lot of pages that previously were available are no longer available. What happened in this case is there was a change to the permalink settings in WordPress and made a bunch of pages unreachable. And so by giving the website owner this early warning, the website owner was able to address the problem quickly, and as a result, their website continued to function and perform as normally in the Google search results. If this website owner had not received this advance notice from Google through Webmaster Tools, it might have been months before he noticed that his website traffic was in decline, his pages weren't being indexed, business was down. Really, very seriously, this kind of notification can save your business. Google also uses Webmaster Tools to warn site owners when their website is subject to a Google penalty. Now, this has been a big problem over the past few years. Google is constantly changing its algorithm in order to return better results. Along the way, Google has begun to penalize sites that it believes are violating quality rules. Now, there are any number of reasons why you might get a Google penalty. The most important thing to know is that you're out of the Google index if Google has chosen to penalize you. Now, in the past, you've had no way of knowing for sure whether or not there was a Google penalty. Now, when you get a Google penalty, it shows up in Webmaster Tools for the site's account. And here's an example of what that would look like. Now, the most important thing here is you've got a request a review button that you can click on. So you get notice when Google, for some reason, has penalized you. They explain what the reason is. In this case, they believe the site in question was selling links in an attempt to pass PageRank, which is something Google frowns upon. And in this case, if I remember correctly, this site actually had been hacked. And so those links were not sold. They had been injected without the site owner knowing. So once your site is cleaned up, you can go ahead and click the Request a Review button. And then a few days later, you'll get a message like this telling you that Google has put you back into the index. In the past, before Google Webmaster Tools incorporated this sort of information, it was a big mystery. Site owners would constantly be worried that maybe they had been penalized. They wouldn't know whether or not it was true. They wouldn't know what channel they needed to go to get back into the Google index. Now it's all built into Webmaster Tools. So now that we know why you want to be using Webmaster Tools, let's walk through the process of setting up Webmaster Tools and connecting your site to the service. You're going to go to google.com/webmasters and click on that blue Sign In to Webmaster Tools button. And if you aren't already logged in, you're going to be asked to log into a Google account. Everyone should have a Google account at this point. You need it for analytics. You need it for any number of other services. You can click on the Create an Account link on this page if you don't have one yet and create one. Otherwise, log in with your Google account information. And once you do that, you get to the Webmaster Tools page. And this is the start page. You've got a little video there that's going to explain some of the benefits of using Webmaster Tools. You already know those because you've been watching this video. There's a box down here where you can add a site. And you add a site just by putting your web address down there and clicking the red button, Add a Site. Now there's one more step you need to take before your site appears in your Webmaster Tools account. You need to verify that you have control of the site. And there are a number of different ways that you can do the verification. You can either download an HTML file and upload that to your web server and then click the Verify button. Or if you don't have access to FTP or don't want to mess around with transferring files, you can use any one of these other methods to verify your account by clicking on the Alternate Methods tab. And when you choose one of these, say HTML tag, for example, which is an HTML tag that you would add to the header of your website, you'll get this meta tag that is unique to your website, and you'll copy that and paste it into your header. Or a better way to do it is to use the Yoast SEO plugin for WordPress, which you should be using anyway. Yoast SEO has on the settings page, if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, you'll see a box where you can enter the verification code. You would just copy your verification code from the Google Webmaster Tools verification screen that we were just looking at. You would paste it into that box next to Webmaster Tools and save your changes. Once you've done that, you go back to Webmaster Tools and click the Verify button again, and then you'll see your website that you added appear in your account, and then you'll have access to all of the great features that I've just been showing you. And that's a whirlwind tour of Webmaster Tools along with instructions for setting it up. You're about to have access to a lot of very valuable data about your website, as well as protection against any number of things that could knock your site out of Google.